So what we saw until now is that we have a drug molecule, or we have a parent drug compound, and that parent drug molecule or parent drug compound, you can have a lot of substitutions on that lead molecule, and you can get different types of drugs. And that particular substitution, what will it do? It will either increase or decrease the potency. It will improvise on the duration of action. It will make the drug metabolically stable, or it may do away with the unwanted side effects of the drug. Okay. Now the question is, what kind of substituents could you have on the chain, on the carbon skeleton? So you could have a methyl group as a substituent. You can have basic groups, acidic groups. You can have halogens. Then you can have carboxylic groups. You can have thiols. You can have sulfonic groups. You can have hydroxy groups. So these are the different substituents on the carbon chain which will affect the potency of the drug, or the solubility of the drug, or the metabolic stability of the drug. So in this part, what I will tell you is about one particular substituent and how that particular substituent is affecting the potency of the drug. Okay. So we start. As you are hearing this, I suggest you write the name of the group and you note down how it is affecting what it is exactly doing. Okay. So for example, we have a substitution like we have a methyl group substituent. So when you have a methyl group substituent, the lipophilicity of the drug will increase, the water solubility will decrease, partition coefficient value increases, drug absorption increases because it easily passes through the lipophilic membrane, and the binding of the drug to the receptor also will increase when you have a methyl group substituent. Now it is not enough that you just give a particular methyl group substituent and you say that this will improve the lipophilicity, this will improve the partition coefficient, it will bind well to the receptor. You also need to study that when you are imparting that methyl group, where are you imparting? Suppose there is a ring system, there is a benzene ring system. On what position are you imparting that particular methyl group? Whether it is at the ortho position, whether it is at the para position, whether it is at the meta position, and if these positions are changing, you know there are different steric effects, that steric hindrances that these substitutions create. Okay, you have studied it in organic chemistry. So when you are imparting the substituent, at what position you are imparting, and then how it affects the pharmacological activity of the drug. Okay, so in this case you can quote down the example of diphenhydramine. The O-methyl analog of diphenhydramine is there, and the para-methyl analog of diphenhydramine is also there. You know diphenhydramine is an antihistaminic agent, but the O-methyl analog of diphenhydramine has no antihistaminic property, whereas the para-methyl analog of diphenhydramine is 3.5 times more active than diphenhydramine itself. The structure of diphenhydramine, its O-methyl analog and the para-methyl analog, all the three structures are available on slide number 2 in the image that is being attached in your mail. Okay, so you need to quote this example and you need to write a note telling how methyl group is affecting the different type of parameters in the drug, and how the position of the methyl group, especially in a ring system, is affecting the pharmacological property of that particular drug in which the substitution is happening. Now, like you can have a methyl group substitution, you can also have a halogen group substitution. So when you impart a halogen group into a drug, what does the halogen atom do to its lead analog? It makes it more lipophilic, it makes it less water soluble, it improves the penetration of the drug through the lipid bilayer membranes, and it also, you can say it is a side effect, it also causes accumulation of the drug in the tissues because it is making the drug highly lipophilic in nature. And always remember that what type of halogen group you are adding, like for example whether you are adding chlorine, whether you are adding bromine, whether you are adding fluorine, iodine, what type of halogen you are adding and where you are adding, that is the position of the halogen group, that also plays an important role in changing the pharmacological activity of the lead analog. Okay, here you can take the example of clonidine. In clonidine, there is chlorine, which is the halogen group that is present. Now, if you have a ortho-orthoclonidine, which means there are two clonidines, both are at the ortho positions of the benzene ring system, then you get a potent lead analog, a potent active clonidine drug. But at the same time, if you shift these two clonidines which are present at ortho-ortho position, if you shift it to para-meta position, then you get a drug which is less potent compared to clonidine itself. Okay, so this is how the type of halogen as well as the position of the halogen on the ring system affects the pharmacological potency or activity or biological potency of the drug. Okay, now like you have halogens, you can also have hydroxy groups substitution. If you substitute or you introduce a hydroxyl group into the lead structure, the drug becomes more hydrophilic. So till now we saw two substituents which were making the drug lipophilic. Now we have a substitution which is making the drug more hydrophilic. So once the compound or the molecule becomes more hydrophilic, it becomes less lipid soluble, and the binding of the drug to the receptor is not all that very good. But you need to always remember that when you are designing a drug, you need to balance it out. You cannot have a highly lipophilic drug, you cannot have a highly hydrophilic drug also. Okay. Now when you are imparting a hydroxy group, it is not always necessary that the binding to the receptor will not be very good. Sometimes the receptor itself is at a place where it is surrounded by more hydrophilic groups. So it will receive the drug much more better, and it will bind to the drug much more better. So when you are making changes in the parent analog, you also have to remember what is your target, what type of receptor are you targeting, what type of receptor is the drug going to go and bind, so that it gives a particular type of action or a pharmacological activity. Okay, here you can quote down the example of orthohydroxyminapirin, and minapirin. Okay, the lead analog is minapirin, and substitution of a hydroxy group at the ortho position. These are the two drug structures that you have to draw: minapirin and the orthohydroxylated analog of minapirin. You will see that the orthohydroxylated analog of minapirin binds much better to the M1 receptor as compared to minapirin. Okay, so probably the M1 receptor is more hydrophilic in nature, and by introducing a hydroxyl group at the ortho position has made the drug also more hydrophilic. So there is good amount of binding between the receptor and the drug to it. Okay, this is one point. The second point is your hydroxy group that you are adding could be a phenolic hydroxy group. Okay, you know that OH can be either alcoholic or it can be phenolic. So our second point is that the OH group could be phenolic, and if you are imparting OH which is phenolic in nature into a structure, then you are adding a bactericidal action to that particular drug. So if you have a compound, a parent analog or a lead molecule which you are looking into improvising its bactericidal or antibiotic property or antibacterial property, probably by adding a phenolic OH will improvise its bactericidal action. Okay, and the third point is that your OH group, like it can be phenolic, it can also be alcoholic in nature, and by imparting such an alcoholic OH group into the structure, you are giving narcotic properties to that particular drug on whom the studies are being done. Okay.